Okay, we're live. Welcome to the Spinnin Backfist MMA show for Wednesday, June 8th. It is Robbie Fox, it is Big Ev, and it is Jack Mack back again to discuss the UFC 275 card. I almost said to recap the UFC 275 card, but that would require us to be in the future because that card has not happened yet.
It certainly hasn't.
If you are from the future and can tell me who's going to win every fight, let me know.
Oh my God, the sports almanac. That's like the Back to the Future thing. Imagine that with all the MMA results in it. Would you look? God. Would you want to look?
Of course I would.
Yeah, you would have to look.
I'm taking the money every time. Because people would be like, oh, like you're not going to enjoy. I'd be like, I'll enjoy it as I'm watching my plus 1,000 ticket cash on Holly Holm.
True.
I'm watching my Juliana Pena ticket cash.
I'm watching Eubanks against
what's
her name?
Agapova.
Yeah, the 8-1.
I'm just watching every underdog just cash.
Yeah, I'm not betting.
Spread it out though. I feel like every movie, that's the way they get caught. Is they just put like a fucking massive bet on, at 8-1 or something, and then they're like, wait a minute.
You got to pick your spots.
Yeah, you got to sprinkle a little bit.
You got to confuse them too. Like put some ones that look like you're just a normal.
Couple losers.
Honestly, if you have it like that, I'd bet a few losers.
Yeah.
Fuck it, just keep honest.
Get the people off your tail.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone has checked out our Dana Whitener interview by now. We interviewed Dana White on this very show yesterday. It's been doing really well. The quotes have been picked up everywhere. It's cool always whenever you interview Dana and like MMA Fighting is writing about it and MMA Junkies writing about it.
I love that like MMA Island or whatever that picked up the hospital and they said confirmed.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So hopefully you've checked that out. If you haven't already, go to the YouTube channel. Check that out after today's episode. Today, we're here to talk about UFC 275, though. This card from Singapore, headlined by Yuri and Glover, Old Man Strength, headlining this card.
Did you see Yuri go up to Glover last night?
For the face-off?
It was backstage. It was kind of like, I think it was before the face-off, and he was like, "You're next." And I think Glover was like, "Okay, dude." Like,
Glover's he's old enough to where, he's like, "All right."
He was just been around everything. Him.
Yeah. Glover was just like shaking everyone's hand, and then like Yuri came up to him. It's like, "You're next. Like, I'm coming for you." And Glover was like, he was like, "Okay."
He's been in the Yuri's been in the custom suits all week. Did you see that? He had like the Hitman suit on. People were like, he went full 007.
I saw that, but he was saying, Glover was just saying, "Yeah, we're fighting. It's on. It's like in a few days. I hope you're gonna try, but if you don't want to, but
Glover's like confirmed. Yes, I'll meet you in that cage." We're gonna talk about the whole card, though. I feel like we should get right into it from the prelims and then work our way up as we normally do. The first fight on the card: Ramona Pascal versus Rosalind Edwards. Pascal plus 134, Edwards minus 167 on the Barstool Sportsbook. We'll be also building our parlay as we go through the card. I like Edwards here, more experience. I wrote Pascal probably has the grappling edge, but hopefully it doesn't get there. Do you guys have anything in this fight?
I don't know if I'll play it. I kind of like Pascal, like you said, just kind of because of the grappling edge, because she's just plus money. Women's MMA, I definitely like going dogs a lot of the time. So like, I'm not like, I don't know if this is like probably not like a on my card play, but like, probably like kind of like a lean the dog.
Edwards is also moving up from 35 to 45 for this fight. And
this is at featherweight.
Yeah, and she got taken down 9 times in the last 2 fights. Just something to
that's
think
not
about.
Good.
Yeah, but who was she against in her last few fights?
Edwards, she was against here. I'll pull it up.
I think like much better than who. Pascal
people could hear lead too, right? Just making sure. Want to make sure everyone hears him.
Yeah.
Confirm in the chat.
I like Edwards. I think it's kind of going to look like the fight between Lupi Godinez and
Lupi Godinez,
Carolina.
Yeah.
Audio's good. And love to hear that.
How Lupi, she was just too big. Rosalind has a very similar build in her body. She's long, big. I think she'll be able to stuff the takedowns, at least a few of them. She may get taken down, but hopefully she gets back up, and then we'll just like piece her up on the feet. You are kicking off your day betting a favorite in women's MMA, but I don't know, the line's a little weird in this one. So
I just think I agree with you. Her just moving on. I just lean the grappling. Like I said, I'm not like crazy. I'm not like I'm hammering this pick, but if I'm taking a pick, I think I'd go the dog, just personally.
The next fight I'm staying away from entirely: Silvana Gomez Juarez versus Na Liang. Juarez is minus 157, Liang plus 126. I have no idea what's going to happen in this fight. I feel like it's a toss-up. could go either way. Do you guys have somewhere you're leaning?
Not really. This is another one that I'm not like passionate about from a betting standpoint.
Me either.
That's why it's one of those like I just lean the dog because I think it's kind of a coin flip, but I'm not like
I am
not overly
Can you
confident.
read
in
the
it.
odds again?
I got one minus 157 and Liang plus 126.
This is the rare women's MMA match that the fight doesn't go the distance is like big minus money. You may remember Liang Niang from that first Jacksonville card with fans. She was against Carnelosi and just didn't destroy her. She was out. She got like, I think finished in the second round, but she was throwing submissions from the ground. She got like, I think dropped a few times, but she's tough. I kind of lean her there, especially with the dog money. But she definitely just seemed like she's gonna go for it. Maybe her inside the distance is probably not that much better than the plus 126. But I do think like if you're looking for a dog money play, start the card. She's not a bad shot. Not that it's that big dog money. It's what plus 120, whatever.
Up next, Kyung Ho Kang plus 120 versus Dana Batgarel minus 150. I wrote Batgarel. Kyung Ho Kang, I don't know. He might be toast.
Batgarel's big time knockout guy. He's been in some big scraps.
Big, strong. I wrote
minus 150 is probably a little short in my opinion.
You think so?
I think a little bit. I would even like him inside the distance. I don't think it's a bad play. I would definitely lean Batgarel as well.
The problem is with Dana is that he was just knocked out like 2.5 months ago by Chris Gutierrez with that spinning backfist.
Yep.
We tried to get him on the pod after
exactly. But yeah, I think that's the reason why this line is like that. Also, Kyung Ho Kang he doesn't fight much. He's been in the UFC for over 9 years.
And he's forever.
And he's had only 10 fights. So he's not a guy that really fights much, but they're both good fighters. I think this will be a scrap. I'm going to be on Kong personally. I think he has the grappling edge, and I think he wins minutes like more so than Dana. And Chris gave a pretty good blueprint of how to beat Dana. Like Dana just is a headhunter. So if you can go anywhere else, you should be able to beat him. Personally, though.
Up next, Andre Fialo versus Jake Matthews. Fialo minus 150, Jake Matthews plus 120. I'm going to lean Matthews here. I know that's probably the unpopular pick. I think everyone's going to Fialo, but I like Matthews. Great all-around fighter. He's very talented in every aspect of the game, and I just like him as a fighter. So I'm going Matthews, the underdog. That's the first underdog pick of the night for me.
Yeah, I think if you want to play Fialo here, he's the rare third or fourth fight on the card contender that almost everyone not everyone, but a lot of people know. So you're going to be paying like a little bit of extra juice for him. Yep. Matthews this is probably his toughest test, I would say, for Fialo. I think at least from everyone in here, we are all on the Matthews side. I don't know about Ev.
So when I came into it, like before I was like looking at it more last night, I thought I was going to be on Matthews because Matthews, he's been in the UFC for a really long time, but Fialo's fought much better competition, especially recently.
Yeah,
Matthews
hasn't fought for over a year.
Like really, like his last loss is like Michael Pereira, which is like not like. And if you remember that fight, I forget what might have been on maybe the Anaheim pay-per-view or one of those cards. He fought very well. Like he won the first round and then got outclassed in the second, third round, which is funny because that's usually Pereira kind of does a little bit the opposite sometimes, where he fades in the third round. But I kind of like Fialo. Like the only thing that's like taking me away from it is I know it's a very sexy pick. Like it's kind of like the easy pick.
Like buy high.
Like I agree. Like just buying high on him, but I just think he's better. Like I don't know. I think there's a good chance he can take him out.
His strike,
like what's that?
His striking's like a little like I don't think
he's kind of a brawler a little bit.
Yeah, he just goes for it, which is entertaining.
Yeah,
but I think Matthews may be able to like.
I think Matthews
grappling. He's black belt in jiu-jitsu.
He has more ways to win. And that definitely gives me pause in like betting Fialo, especially minus 150. I don't know. I just think he's kind of on a heater right now. And I think like he's just like his confidence is all time high. He's coming up a few big wins. I think his strength, like I said, his strength of schedule, I think is much better than Matthews, even though he's been in the UFC a much shorter time. Like even guys like when he was in PFL, like he fought like Chris Curtis, who's been like on a tear, like since he's come in the UFC and has beaten some like good guys, like beat Phil
Yes.
Hawes, like knocked up Brent Allen, who's
Yes.
also on this card, who I think Brent Allen's a very good fighter. So I mean, he lost to Chris Curtis in like a pretty good fight. He ended up getting knocked out, I believe, late in the fight. But just in general, he's fought like much better competition, which kind of like it scared me away from Matthews. I do think I'm going to bet Fialo, even though I'm definitely like a little bit worried. Like I'm afraid I could go into and just look stupid
Yeah.
early on, just because like you said, I'm buying high on him. But I like Fialo.
Chris Curtis, great. His story is just
Love
awesome.
Curtis.
He's that guy that came from just like regional scene, doing like he took any fight he could, then now he's on a little bit of a run.
He took
I
the
think he's Canadian.
He retired twice. Chris Curtis did, and he's not Canadian, but he retired twice, like in the regional, because he was just like, I'm sick of it. I'm not gonna get to that UFC no more.
Making no money, I'm sure. Like when you're on the regional scene, it's not like
and he
you have
won
money
2
coming
bonuses in his first 2 fights. Crazy.
Yeah,
and deserving as well.
He knocked
he knocked out Phil Hawes at MSG.
MSG, that was sick.
And then honestly, the Brendan Allen, like he just straight like took it to him.
Yeah,
like, Brendan Allen much taller, much
that was
like
in the
bigger.
Apex, right?
Yeah, much bigger guy. So good for him. 2-0, 2 knockouts in the UFC.
Matthews has the decidedly grappling advantage in this fight, though.
That's definitely what scares me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think this fight is a very big toss up, and Matthews is a very good just guy who's stable in the division. Like he's a gatekeeper of like the 30 to 35 range probably in this division. Yeah, and then if you beat him, you get a step up. I really believe that.
Up next, we got Hyosair Mahashit. Maybe I said that right. Mahashit plus 141 versus Steve Garcia minus 177.
I like Garcia in the parlay.
I like Garcia as well. Garcia's got the experience here. He's been in the game longer.
It's a very funny story about him. I remember him because he was a Contender Series guy. That I remember he was like plus like 4 or 5, like something crazy, like
plus 475.
Like I know it was like 400 or 500 because I remember he literally no one knew who he was. Like there was no tape on him. No one knew anything about him. And I remember just putting action on him because I was like, fuck it, like he's plus 500, like maybe he's good.
Yeah.
And he just was. Like
it was a coin flip at that point.
He just beat the guy. My only concern is I have literally no idea whether he can defend takedowns, like his grappling. Like I literally have 0 clue.
Yeah.
So like if it stays in the feet, like he very well could win this fight. But there's a decent chance that it's not happening.
Big unknown.
Like it's just such a massive unknown. Where the last time I was taking this unknown, I was getting almost 5 to 1. Now I'm getting plus 140.
Yeah. Magic was tweeting about his takedown defense last night, like and asking a guy who I think his name's Bo Miller or something.
Bo Nickel?
No, not Bo Nickel. But Bo Miller, he's like a small MMA Twitter betting guy. But I think he's stationed in Asia somewhere when he's a part of the U.S. Army, I think. And he was asking if he had any inside sources for the Mahashit, his takedown.
He literally has one name. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think Garcia also has the reach advantage, like 4 or 5 inches. I think also definitely fought the better competition. I think he should be like minus 250. But
so I guess his name is Hyosair. I swear to God, on the like on the Contender Series broadcast, they were literally just referring to him as one name. Like
maybe he's like, fuck that first
name.
Like
his name, like it just literally said like just the one name, and that was the only thing they ever referred to him as.
Imagine I was just Fox,
and
that's the only name I went by. Nice to meet you,
Fox.
Fox.
Ichiro Suzuki.
It is like Seal.
Good thing about or I don't know if it's a good thing, but Steve Garcia, former bantamweight, he fought Ricky Tercios and Ronnie Lawrence back in the day in Bellator in 2016, and then he's coming all the way up to lightweight now, or is a lightweight now. So just something to think about. I also agree with Jack, though. I think he should win this.
I mean, they're expecting pretty heavily. The fight did not go the distance is minus 250. I mean, Garcia's plus 210 by knockout, is plus 400 by submission. So I mean, they're giving him pretty solid odds to get the job done here.
Yeah,
I don't hate him as a parlay piece. If we want to start off with him, I'm not opposed.
I like him as a parlay piece.
I'm not opposed
parlay
to it.
piece. Sung Woo Choi minus 250 versus Joshua Kulibao plus 195. Probably Woo Choi in this fight, but I was looking into this, and a lot of people said Kulibao is better than the odds are giving him credit for.
I kind of think so too. I had him circled as a play.
I bet him. I bet him already.
He's plus 195 in our book right now. I just think the line's too wide. I'm not a crazy on Woo Choi. I just think
He's a good
I just
striker,
think
but
the line's just too. I just think you're giving too big of a
who choice
number on.
kickboxer, right?
Yeah. Kulibao also talked about I was watching his interview last night in Singapore, and he was saying how Choi always comes forward, and he's a better guy off his back foot. So he's really going to be a counter puncher in this fight versus against Choi, and I think that's going to do him way wonders. I mean, his fight against Jourdain. Like Jourdain is a guy that we talk about, like is a top 15 guy,
Awesome,
and he beat him for the first 2 rounds. So he has the skills. I don't think plus 195 is anywhere close to acceptable for this fight. So I already bet him.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I'm on
keep
him as
Wu
well.
Choi out of the parlay.
Yeah, I like Calabos. Like that's an
All right.
official play for me as well.
All right. Up next, Brendan Allen, who we spoke about a little earlier, we referenced minus 335 versus Jacob Malcone plus 253. You got to go Brendan Allen here, right?
He's just gonna run through him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Malcone. There's like a little part of me that thinks like he's won some fights as being like a wet blanket. I don't think he's going to be really able to do that.
I was going to say, can he do that to Allen? Because Allen's big for the weight class.
Allen, he's big and he's like good grappler too. Like he has good submissions.
Yeah.
I don't love like Malcone's Malcone's literally one of the more like boring fighters you'll ever see.
Yeah.
He also not like experienced. Like he's only 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Brendan Allen went up and he just ran through Sam Alvey in his last fight. He just like
Yeah.
that last minute fight. I think he was really mad after the way he got knocked out by Chris Curtis.
Yeah, greatest fighter on the UFC roster. Sam
Sam
Alvey.
Alvey.
Yeah.
Also, that number's jumped up. Like literally last night when I was looking at this line, it was minus 275.
Yeah.
They keep
So he's
jumping
literally
up.
minus 335 in like less than 12 hours.
He's gonna keep jumping up with that too, and
Honestly, that's even one I would like. If you
parlay for sure.
if you're gonna
Yeah.
I like it in the parlay. If you're not gonna lay it by itself,
Yeah.
he's like a pick him by finish, or even actually, honestly, I think even him by submission, he's plus
Submission
180 by submission. I'd probably rather take him by finish plus 100, but
JJ
I
in
like
the
that
chat
play
says
as well.
play the under 2.5 rounds on this one.
yeah, the under's minus 155, 2.5. I don't hate that either. I don't think that's a bad play.
What's
Good pick, JJ.
I just think for me, I'd rather just take Allen because I just don't see
Yeah.
Malcone finishing.
The difference in speed between when he was fighting Chris Curtis at 185 versus when he was fighting Sam Alvey at 205 was crazy. Watching
Yeah.
the tape back, like he was just so much
Where's
slower.
this fight? 185?
185.
Yes,
Yeah. That was a short notice one for
Yeah.
Sam Alvey. But it's a crazy difference. The thing will be, I think, for Allen, if he like throws too many kicks and Malcone catches them, I think that would be the only way Malcone would be the difference. So I think it's either just with the hands or with the leg kicks for Allen for this fight, but he should get it done.
I think so.
He's
as
definitely
well.
he's much bigger, much better. He's more well-rounded.
Also,
for sure.
Malcone's like 5'9".
Yeah, he's tiny. I think he might even be 5'8". He was listed. It's like 6'2" versus 5'8", 5'9". Huge size difference. Like I said, Malcone, he's just a good wrestler. He's got good wrestling. He's a wet blanket kind of guy. He can grind out wins like that, but I don't think Brendan Allen's the one.
And is that the featured prelim?
I believe so.
I think that one is the featured prelim, and then we could get into the main card.
Yes. Next fight, Madalena.
Madalena minus 157 versus Ramazan Emeev plus 126. I'm gonna take the underdog here. Emeev fought Danny Roberts last. I remember that fight. It was in October, and I thought he won that fight. He lost a decision to him. So I'm gonna say he's due. He's gonna come into this fight angry, wanting to win. I'll go Emeev.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay away on this one. I'd lean the dog as well. I think with Della Maddalena, like we just haven't seen enough of him. Like he fought Ange Luce in the contender series, right? Who actually is a really solid fighter. But I mean, so we ended up getting a last minute replacement for his UFC debut. A guy who was 4-0, much smaller, like just totally just levels out, totally outclassed him. Knocked him out, I think, in the first round, if I remember correctly. It was like P. Rodriguez was his name, much smaller, just not nearly as good. I probably Madalena might be like phenomenal. I just don't know enough. Probably staying away betting. I don't know enough about him to like lay minus 150 with him, or like
I'm not crazy confident in that by any means. That's just
I just like he could be very good. Like I said, Ange Luce is like a pretty strong like veteran like journeyman type guy to face like in a very strong contender series fight like opponent.
Yeah,
but I just like I don't know. I just don't know enough. I haven't seen him enough against like strong competition to feel like really good about him.
On the Barstool Sportsbook, there is like not like a prop, but it's like alternate rounds it's under, and it's Madalena like round 3 or decision, and that's like plus 138. I think if you were gonna bet this fight, Amif keeps fights really close, and Madalena has shown that he has power through all 3 rounds. So I think if you're going to bet this fight, that's your best bet. And get it at close to plus 140. I think that's really good value.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
This.
That is a good bet. You got any thoughts on this one, Jack?
No, they summed it up. I think it's so who are they talking about in the chat? Della?
Yeah, Jack Della Madalena.
His gym mates call him.
He has a lot of hype behind him. I do know that. Like, a lot
I'm
of people
interested to see
talk
this.
very
Very
highly of him.
I just like I don't have a confident take on it at all. I think they summed up pretty well, Ev and Lee, and I'm excited to watch this one though. But I don't think I'll have a bet on it.
I'm even just a massive step up from like a Pete Rodriguez.
Yeah,
huge step up.
Amif also keeps fights really, really close, and just against everybody.
He's a grinder.
Like he lost he won like a split decision against Stolza, who got outclassed by Saint Denis last week. So it's just like you don't really know for this fight.
And that was obviously up. Like now he went back down to 155.
Yep.
Second fight on the main card is Rogerio Bontorin plus 183 versus Manel Kopp minus 235. This, in my opinion, should be a parlay piece. I think Kopp will run through him.
No,
I like
you
the
don't
dog.
think so?
I like Bontorin too.
Oh wow!
I think he's gonna out grapple Kopp.
I think he get a submission.
Submission.
I think
even.
he's so. This is my thing with the East.
Okay.
He's fought much better.
Yep.
Like Caps had some really nice wins. Like he crushed Ode Osborne with that flying knee. Like he's had some like exciting wins. But Bontorin has like fought some really, really good guys. If you even remember like the Kai Car-France fight, he like dominated that first round and then just got clipped with like 5 seconds left in the round and face planted and they just ended the fight. I think he's much better than people are giving him credit for. He's had some tough losses like recently.
I think
all right, keep it out.
I
think if you guys both like the dog,
I'm like
keep it out. Keep it out.
He's like one of my favorite plays on the card.
I think it should be even. I think the odds should be even.
That's kind of how I feel too. Like I think him. Like when I saw he was plus like he's 183 right now.
Yeah.
When I saw it was like in that high hundreds, I was like very surprised.
I like Kopp, but I think what I've said about his level of competition, that's something I've learned through watching a lot more over the past 2 or 3 years matters so much. The grappling here. Like Kopp could catch him for sure,
no doubt.
But I think his path to victory gives him like a 50% chance. And if you're getting someone you view as a 50 to 55% chance of winning the fight at plus 183 on the Barstool Sportsbook, I think it's a good like you take that chance, and then over the long run you'll get like that's when we say value. That's value. Like it's like you have 10% of value, quote unquote. It may not show up on this fight, but over the long haul, if you do identify the right value, it will show up. So I think this is, and I'm glad that Ab's on the same side, and I'm interested to see what Lee says as well.
Remember when this is just a story for it? You remember when Kopp got his fight canceled against?
Yeah, wasn't he on steroids or something?
Yeah,
they like took it back, or they said it wasn't like a new sample. He was negative or whatever.
So apparently, like Vegas tested him. Vegas got him positive, but he's only banned basically in Vegas from now on because he had a very small sample taken from there. So that's why he's able to fight in Singapore this week.
Interesting. Usually, like especially in the States, the athletic commission, if you get banned in Nevada, like New York will honor that usually. So maybe you got to go international.
And we were talking about commissions with.
Is that controversial? Like, are people pissed about him?
I don't think enough people know about it. Yeah, that's really what I think. But yeah, Kopp
I can see fighters being mad that he would be on the card.
For sure.
And Alonzo Menifield's going to fly over.
I almost think it's
and just start yelling into the mic.
I almost think it's a little karma as well on your side, which that has nothing to do with me like liking Bonner. And I just think I legit think he's.
I don't know enough about drug testing and like how and I'm sure, and you've seen it before. You've heard stories of drug testing where people get popped and they're like the cleanest guys, like how it's like the classic Seinfeld episode where Elaine keeps testing positive because she's having poppy seed bagels, which is I think a myth. But
I think the sheer amount of poppy seeds you have to be like dumping like bags of poppy seeds down your throat.
You'd have to be drinking poppy seeds.
Kopp is really weird too. Like he lost his first 2 fights because of just no volume.
I remember this.
Which it's weird because in Ryzen, where he was the champ before, he had like great volume, good power, like more so volume
just
than
under
power.
the bright lights of the UFC got trepidatious and nervous.
I think so. And then
we underestimate that. It's like
a
rookie in the NFL, we're like, oh, his first few games he's going to be rattled. But UFC, it's like, no, you were the champion Risen or LFA, yada, yada, yada. It should just translate over. I think sometimes that's like the mental game so
Dana
massive.
White's there, like watching ringside.
and
You're
it's
like,
like,
oh
I mean,
shit.
Think about all the pressure. Like NFL, you have a bad game, you have a game next week.
And you
Baseball,
also
you
have a
game
team
tomorrow.
You have a team behind you.
Yeah.
Like the individual aspect of it has to add a lot.
And it's like, if I don't win this fight, is everything like over? Because not UFC usually have a few chances, but it's like I got to pay my coaches. Then I have to, after that, I have to pay myself. Like I want to make money too, and of course,
if you lose, you only get half.
and it's like,
yeah,
and then it's like Zuma Gulov has 2 families. It's like,
Which you get half a paycheck.
We were talking with Dana yesterday about how, like, man, if the judges get something wrong, like it hurts the gamblers, right? Well, it also hurts the fighter a lot too. Like half of their pay. Shit.
Last point for this fight. I think that Cop can be absolutely dominated on the ground, but his defense. I think he's with King's MMA, who has a number of fighters on this card. I don't know if Bontarine will take enough volume because he's not a volume puncher either. I don't know if he'll get enough volume to really work the takedowns for this fight. I would just stay away personally. I'm not on any side for this fight. It'll be a good fight though.
Yeah, this will be a good one. Next one will be a great one. Weili Zhang minus 175 versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk 2 plus 140. Joanna is. I think this one goes to Zhang. Such a close fight the first time. Joanna peppered her with more shots. Zhang was more the power puncher in the first fight. Joanna's been off for a long time now.
Like 2 years.
So it's like, can you expect her to come back with the same amount of volume, the same speed that she had in the first fight? And also the picture of Zhang this week with she's showing her abs off.
She's ripped.
Holy shit. Like maybe the most cut fighter in the history of the UFC this week.
But sometimes that's not good.
No, sometimes it's not, but I see that and my brain just immediately goes like,
I know.
That's another thing. Joanna's a great 5-round fighter. She's a great 3-round fighter too, but I feel like the 3-round fight benefits Weili.
I agree.
And Weili, and she
you're fighting in her backyard too, like almost.
Singapore. Yeah, I was about to say the backyard. It's Asia. Singapore's its own country, but it's right.
It's in Asia.
Does China have beef with Singapore?
No,
I don't know.
It's not Taiwan, as John Cena taught us.
Oh yeah.
No, I was talking about this with Lee last night, and I've talked about it with a few other people, like my fellow UFC fans and bettors. Maybe we could look at the over as a parlay piece here. What's it now?
Can we even do that though? I think parlay
over 2.5 rounds is minus
parlays.
305.
Maybe we can't even do it. I think like if you are making your own parlay at home, and that's something that maybe if the Barstool Sportsbook will allow you to do it, but we do the boosted thing. So like you can do it on the Barstool Sportsbook, but
we should just try and find out though. I mean, I think the over 2.5 is a lock for this fight. I think both of them are,
if it's a lot,
tough.
minus 300 stealing.
Well, listen, Jack, you listen.
No, I'm dead serious.
True.
Tyler Santos versus Roxanne Modafferi. Remember, minus 400.
Yes,
like the lock of the century.
That was the lock of the century. I remember that. that was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Or was that this fall?
No, that was 2 fights ago for Tyler. I think
that was unreal. I remember that.
Yeah,
that was the lock. No, the biggest lock of the century was fight doesn't start the 3rd round between Hollywood Ninja and what's his name? 2 Hollywood Ninjas
and Bruno Silva.
Bruno.
That didn't go 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember a certain book, I'm not going to say it, had it like not to start round 3 minus 180. That was one of my biggest UFC bets ever. But Lee, do you have a straight bet on this or just
Zhang? They're not a straight bet.
It's a lock.
I think.
I got to talk to him about value. It's like you're getting 20% value.
I think Zhang decision is going to be like around or I think it's at like plus 140. I think that's the best way to play this. I think Zhang's actually going to hit like takedowns for this fight. Like
she's getting much better.
I rewatched the Rose fight. And I think that she beat Rose.
Oh, she beat
clearly.
Rose. Yeah.
Clearly. And I can't believe that Rose won that fight. But her takedowns looked good against Rose, who was actually practicing takedown defense.
Yeah.
And
look at Rose against Esparza. Like she didn't do anything, but she did her takedown defense in that. If you were to say something about Rose in that fight, was that her takedown defense was good.
For sure.
Zhang's getting much better. I think she definitely beat Rose, like in my opinion.
I like Zhang as a parlay piece.
Yeah,
I like her.
I do too.
I like her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm down with that.
I love her. I love her by decision. She's plus 130 on Barstool right now by decision. I like that a lot as well.
We have a lot of angles on this fight. Also, quick side note, a lot of people are like, I'm seeing a lot of talk. This card stinks. What do you guys think of the overall
Oh, I don't
card?
think this card stinks.
I don't think it stinks. I think it's like maybe a little underwhelming for a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
maybe, so what I think is
I think no card stinks because like
I
the
wouldn't say it
weekends when there's no
stinks.
UFC card, I'm like, this stinks.
But I don't mind it though because the next two in July are both like stacked.
true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
stacked.
I just don't think this card's getting enough like buzz almost from the UFC in this scenario. Like I haven't seen like many commercials. I haven't seen many like
I think
advertisements.
Jerry should be a superstar
Yes.
for how weird he is.
Yes.
He is, yeah.
He's
His
like a
ponytail,
samurai.
like the whole,
Like
the look.
big in
Have
Europe.
you- I've grinded so much tape on him in the last like
Yeah.
month or so. Like all his fights in Risen, he's beat some like really good guys.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of crazy.
He's
And when
he's
he
a
beat like
pretty heavy
in
favorite in the main
knockout
event.
fashion, like even just and got their names you know to like CB Dollar like literally like murdered him. You want to know who he beat? The Bellator light heavyweight Nemkov.
Oh, yeah.
He beat
The
him.
Ukrainian
Yeah, beat him.
that's fighting right now.
He beat actually the guy who won the who's now a heavyweight and was the heavyweight PFL champion Bruno Capoloza.
Yep.
Knocked him out like pretty early on in that fight. Like he's beaten a lot of like good facing good competitions. Like
the last
just
time he
ran
lost
through all of them.
was like a rant. He was, I think, fighting at like heavyweight, in like a kickboxing organization. I'll show you.
Oh, wow.
I'm
You
gonna
know, he hasn't lost a fight in a long time.
I'm gonna pull it up. You won't recognize him. How big Yuri looked in this.
We could talk about the co-main event while you pull that up.
100%.
Yeah, before we start ranking, because I have a lot of takes. On
I was going to
this.
say,
Yes.
in the co-main
Lot of
event
takes on
shouldn't
the
take
main
us
event.
that long.
Yes.
Valentina Shevchenko minus 715 versus Talia Santos plus 475. Crazy odds on this one, but with Valentina, it's like, well, yeah, that's what the odds are. I've seen a lot of people saying out of her past couple opponents, Santos is the one that's going to bring it to her. She's the one that's going to push her. I kind of look at this like it's any other Valentina fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's a little more like I mean, I think she has a better chance than like Lauren Murphy and like people like that. But I think I like Valentina inside the distance plus 110. I mean, I'm just not laying minus
I
7.
said Shevchenko.
I'm not laying minus 700 with her. I mean, she has got some good finishes
Do we
recently.
lay it
So
in the parlay? Like, does it even help the parlay?
It helps a little
a
bit.
little bit. I mean, I'd be down to throw it in just because right now we really only have
We have 3, right?
what do we have? We have Brendan Allen,
Zhang.
Zhang, and what was the one I said?
Oh wait,
earlier,
no,
too?
we also said
There's another one as well. Who did I say earlier?
Steve Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Garcia
Yeah.
as well. So we have those three.
And
so
Garcia's minus 150, so we don't have to put like we don't have to stretch.
Allen's
ourselves.
minus like 335, and Zhang's minus 175. So that should right there be like probably close to 300.
Pretty good, yeah. The main event, Glover to Sheriff.
Wait.
Oh.
Santos, I think has a. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too bullish on her, but I think she has a shot.
Really?
I don't know. I think Valentina's the GOAT.
A shot, and how do you see her like getting a victory?
I know that's the thing.
Valentina's
Could
just
she
so
catch
good
her?
everywhere. Like
The thing is, like, they're 135 or 125.
25.
It's tough to knock people out at that.
Yeah.
But,
like that's the only,
Valentina's
like,
done
she's
it.
the one who does
head
it. Like
kick,
she knocks
yeah.
people out. She finishes people.
but yeah, I mean,
I'd be fine with like even not putting her in the parlay just because she's such a big favorite.
I don't
Yeah.
want to put her in the parlay.
But I'll be
I'm fine with that.
Just to scratch my itch, I'll be playing her by finish.
5
fight.
Valentina props for this fight. I mean, this is kind of crazy. Valentina around 4 plus 1600. Valentina around 5 plus 2200.
Those are good looks.
That seems
Those are
a
good
little.
looks. I don't hate those.
Valentina
I don't hate
inside the
those.
distance too is like plus 120.
Yeah, I think
130.
110
her
right now in the
getting
Barca
another
sports
crucifix.
books.
It goes down. If you look at the last like 4 opponents or the last 5 opponents for
It's been pretty dominant.
Santos, it's been dominant, but like
I was saying for
Yeah.
Shevchenko.
Oh yeah, no, for Santos, Meatball Molly lost a split decision to Mara Barella, who is a 10-5 UFC fighter, or 10-5 fighter in general. Meatball Molly by unanimous decision. Jillian Robertson unanimous decision. Roxanne Modafferi by unanimous decision, and then just beat Joanne Wood handily. But I don't know if that's really deserving of a title shot. But who else would you give it to at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just when Shevchenko has been so dominant, it's just like there's no one else. You gotta like you keep just kind of feeding our new contenders just out of like basically by default. Like there's no one else really there.
We're getting made fun of in the chat for not being able to do math quickly because we're American.
Yeah, 12th.
Is that because we don't use the metric system?
What do you mean math?
Because
Decimals.
They
Oh,
do
no,
decimals.
decimal
They do
odds.
decimals, so like you could like just add them up, like kind of. Sorry, Quoth. We'll get better.
Sorry,
At
yeah,
it.
you stupid Yanks over here.
Yeah, stupid Yanks.
Let's talk about the main event.
That's
Glover
a big
Teixeira.
meme in the soccer world.
Yeah.
Stupid Yanks.
Glover Teixeira plus 165 versus Yuri Procha. I can't say it.
Prohaska.
Prohaska.
Prohaska minus 210. So many people are on Yuri here. I want to go on Glover, and I want to bank on this fight looking the same way the first Stipe and Ngannou fight looked, where it's like, oh shit, Yuri could take his head off, just like Ngannou could. But Glover is going to grapple fuck him for 5 straight rounds, in my opinion. I view it as Glover via decision, 5-round grapple fuck.
See, I think it ends early, like either way.
Mm-hmm.
I think my counter to you saying the grind him out, grab him for 5 rounds. Francis Ngannou, as much as a power puncher he is not nearly as athletic,
True.
bouncy, probably long in comparisons to Glover.
True.
Also, the age difference is massive.
Yeah. Dad strength, though.
Because I feel like my mindset is kind of either I think Yuri wins this fight like first, second round by like vicious knockout, or Glover's able to get him on the ground and is able to submit him. But even the fights I've watched, like Prohaska was taken down quite a bit, but he did have good, like he was good at defending submissions. He was good at he was able to get back up. It's not great. He's so athletic and explosive. He kind of was naturally able to kind of just like explode up a little bit.
Yeah.
Almost like a little more fundamentally sound like a Derek Lewis. He's kind of like gets up.
Yeah.
He has that. He
just
is,
stand
he's
up
just so
defense.
strong.
Yeah, get up jitsu.
He just like is
Yeah.
so strong and like athletic. He just kind of is able to like muscle his way up
Yeah,
a little
you just
bit.
get up.
He just explodes. Like he's an athlete. He just explodes up.
It's MMA 1.0. It's
I love Glover, and like I want to take him at this price, but in my brain, like I'm sitting here and I feel like I just keep going back to visualizing like Yuri just kind of like doing his thing. Like he keeps his hands low, and like it definitely scares you when you bet on him, but like what he was able to do to like Dominic Reyes and what he was able
That
to do to like
knockout scares me
Alexander.
for Glover.
And like, and I'm telling like Dominic Reyes was so fucking tough in that fight.
Yeah.
So tough. He ate some big shots, kept coming back, throw the left hand. And Yuri has a chin on him too, because Reyes was hitting him with some big counter lefts at times, and he was eating them.
Reyes wobbled him though.
He did. No, he did for sure.
And he
And
took him
Reyes is a
down.
big power puncher. Like Reyes was a tough as hell in that fight. I give him a lot of credit. But Yuri is just so like creative, and like it's just man. Glover, and the one thing I don't love is like Glover, like he kind of just won the belt. Like I don't know, like it's like kind of like it's like he did it kind of.
Do you
thing.
feel like the odds are where they should be?
See, that's where I'm coming, like where I'm having problems, because I almost think Yuri's just slightly too big of a favorite. I think he should be the favorite. I think he should be more like 180, not like 210. So I'm splitting hairs a little bit there. But when I like visualize the fight in my brain, I just feel like I just see Glover getting knocked out.
I could see that happening. I hope it doesn't, because I like
love
Glover.
Glover, and I like don't. When I'm trying to use like my rational brain, like no bias, I feel like I just see Yuri knocking him out, and I think he does it in the first or second round.
Would be horrible for Connecticut.
Connecticut wouldn't recover. Without a doubt, like the Connecticut economy would tank.
Do they put the flags at half mast?
Yeah, 100%. He's the face of Connecticut. The thing is, it's like, will Yuri kind of catch Glover, and then Glover will do kind of Oliveira style, his style, whereas like his health bar just starts going back up. It's like it's almost at zero, and then it's like oh wait, like what he did to Overeem.
He gets a takedown, and all of a sudden, like,
yeah, it's like 100%.
Like reloads.
Like Yuri's like, what the fuck? I think the play here is under 2.5.
I agree,
but
I like that as well.
Under 2.5, and then I like Glover. I think you're getting him at plus money is a great bet. However, I'm with Ev. Something feels off. It's like Yuri just is going to go in there looking for war, and it's like, I mean, Glover, he is a light heavyweight, but how old is he? 43?
He's
42,
old,
I
man.
think.
Like he's
42.
And he's been fighting all that time
like
too.
you got to think he did it. He just climbed the mountain.
Yeah,
He's
after
already talking,
20 years.
He's already talking about retiring. Like I just think when guys talk about retiring and they're fighting, you just had this monumental accomplishment. They think you've been working for your entire life. You get it when you're in your 40s. Now you're facing this young lion who's starving.
You think Yuri
he's a
hits
freak.
harder than Jan?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay.
Or at least as hard, I think.
All right.
I mean, you see that
Probably as hard.
That Ozdemir knockout was like scary.
No,
Like,
I
he was,
know.
like,
I'm with
dead.
you. I mean, I'm just more thinking of just like
Yuri
I
lands
wanna-
more cleanly. I feel like
Dude,
than
he's
Jan.
so athletic and just bouncy, like just the way he keeps his hand down. So when you bet on him, he like scares you.
The only fighter out of
because
Danbury,
Glover can punch too. Like I'm not sleeping on Glover's hands either.
at least
Like he's a tough, powerful guy, but
at least that I've seen. Well, Glover has Pereira out of Danbury
He's
now.
building that team.
There's
The 85, the 185 pounder.
Yeah.
That submitted.
Then there's
What
a
the hell is
woman
his
who
name?
lost recently that's fighting with him.
Wellington
too.
Wellington Turman is his
Wellington
name.
Turman. He knocked out
He submitted Misha Serkinov.
His
last
nickname
fight.
should be
Yeah.
Beef Wellington Turman.
Yes.
That'd be
Beef
good.
Wellington Turman. That's an odd, yeah. So under 2.5 is my play.
that's my official plays would be under 2.5, and I think
I'd be really
think just
surprised
play
if it's a
Yuri.
5-round grapple fuck.
Okay, I think I'm
But,
at
hey,
least hoping for that.
I
Well, I'm
just
not hoping for
surprised
not hoping for
I
a
just
boring
think
grapple
if-
fuck, but
I just think if it like before it would become a grapple fuck, I think Glover would like find a submission.
yeah,
That's kind of how I feel, or find like a ground and pound.
I can see that.
Almost kind of what he did to Anthony Smith a little bit,
Yeah.
like and that would be if it really got extended into like a third, fourth round.
or even what he did to Jan, right? Like in a way.
Yeah, no, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much. I just don't think he's gonna clip Jan the way he clipped Yuri. I think Yuri's a little
Yeah.
too
Faster.
fast, a little too bouncy.
William
a little too
Knight
spry.
out of East Hartford will hold down Connecticut of Glover. And then there's another guy. Porter. What's his name?
Parker
Porter.
Porter.
Parker Porter out of West Hartford.
My guy
Connecticut.
Jelton Almeida just
That was
Yeah.
tough.
Okay.
No. He just got to check.
A
Parker's
perfect
going to
game.
be back. He's going to be back, bro.
All right. So what's the parlay that we're looking at here?
So the ones that we all agreed
Steve
on
Garcia.
was Garcia, Brendan Allen, and then Zhang and Weili Zhang.
What is that?
That
Just
would be
those three. We got crazy last week, right? We were like,
Or
let's
if we
go
want to
crazy.
see, I don't know,
Only one off.
or we
Yeah.
could try to maybe put the under 2.5 in that. Let's see.
Even
we
under
could do it.
Even under 3.5. Under 3.5 is on the Barstool Sportsbook too. Like that.
I think we were talking about under or over 2.5 and Zhang. Oh, no, we already have Zhang now. Why?
Let me see. So it's Zhang. We have
Yeah, we could do
Zhang,
under
Garcia,
3.5
and Brendan-
for the parlay.
Zhang, Garcia, and Brendan Allen right now would be plus 222.
That's pretty good before a boost.
That's pre-boost, so we're hoping he gets close to 250. We could ask about if I know Robbie doesn't love it, the under 2.5 in the title fight.
I'd be okay putting it in there, trusting you guys.
Well,
We could at least ask about it.
yeah. Lee just suggested we could even
Or we-
extend it
or
to
we could do-
3.5.
Or if you want to, how about this? Just do fight doesn't go the distance.
I like
It's
that
minus
too.
480,
I've seen those before. On the,
which
on
that
the
would bring it to
sportsbook.
plus 290.
What?
Wait, and that's a little safer. Obviously, literally just give us the whole.
I
just
think
needs
you
to-
could put together a nice little fight doesn't go the distance parlay for this card. Like we wouldn't do it on the Barstool. You can do it on Barstool Sportsbook, I think.
Yes.
But if you wanted to do that by yourself, like the Glover fight doesn't go. Maybe the Zhang fight goes. Fight doesn't go in. What were some of the other ones?
Fight doesn't go in the Na Liang Gomez
Yeah.
Juarez
Yeah.
fight. The Kung Ho Khan Baccaril, Fialo,
Fialo fight.
Brendan Allen fight. Those are all.
Yeah, you could do a nice little parlay there, but not to get off of the Spinning Backfist parlay.
So do we want to? The official we're going to submit would be Zhang Weili, Steve Garcia, Brendan Allen, and then we could do the doesn't go the distance.
Yeah.
In the
If it's
main
allowed,
event.
yeah.
I would think they would allow it. I don't see why not.
I have no idea how that works with. What
I don't
they
see
do
why. It would
with
just
that.
say like the Glover versus Prohovsky doesn't go the distance.
Yeah.
So that altogether would be plus 290. So we think get over 300.
Yeah, Logan DeWolf. Lee tweets out his own picks, but he can Lee, if you want to.
They'll be on my page.
Yeah, if you want to, you can like retweet it off Spinning Backfist or quote tweet it.
Yep.
Yeah, you should just do that.
Yeah, I'll post some places as well on
So
Saturday.
then
for sure.
you'll see them if you follow Spinning Backfist Twitter. Lee, when you put all your card out, just like retweet it off Spinning Backfist or quote tweet and be like, "Here's Lee's place," and then anybody else.
I'll
listens.
play
Yeah,
some as
I'll
well, yeah.
listen. We'll
That works.
just text me on or before you put them up, and we can all put them up together. Even that'd be fine. I just for the last fight for the title fight.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be big on Glover inside the distance. I'm just saying.
Yeah, what is he inside the distance?
Plus 260?
Wow.
Yeah, I think if you're taking Glover, you should just take him inside the distance because Is he gonna win by, I guess, grapple fuck? But I don't think that's gonna like.
That's even how like Yuri is too. Like Yuri's minus 210 money line inside the distance. He's minus 165.
Yeah, that's
They're basically just saying if he wins,
Yeah.
And his winning method is minus 143 by knockout. They're basically just saying if he's gonna win, he's gonna knock him out.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know,
Which is true.
That's how I see it.
all I see is that Glover is going to eventually take him down. Yuri's going to be coming forward. He's going to throw a couple shots, get him against the fence, take him down just like he did to Jan, and eventually going to tire him out or get the choke in or something. Like Glover is 10 times the submission artist that Yuri has ever even worked with. He says he's been preparing for this fight for a year, working on his submission defense, but who could he be bringing in that would match Glover, right?
And in a year's time, too.
that's
Not a lot of time.
Like I said, I thought, like, obviously, like, I agree with you 100%. Like, no one he fought, like, in Arisen is anywhere near, like, the grappling credentials of, like, Glover. But the one thing he was good at defending submissions there. And also, remember, when it comes to the cardio stuff, Risen, the first rounds are 10 minutes.
Yeah, no.
So he's used to, like, going these, like, he's
Yeah.
used to go, like, just going for days.
No, I don't think
So-
cardio is an issue for even either one of them. But
Agreed.
obviously Yuri's going to have the volume advantage. Like that's for sure. But
I don't like anyone that's betting Glover. I don't fault you. Like, there's a huge part of me that wants to take the plus money. Like I said, I don't know. I just think Yuri's going to find the
Shout
shot.
out everyone in the chat, by the way, for supporting the show.
Yep.
Your support's been awesome. We feel the love and trust.
It's
Me
cool
when
to be
I
able to
say,
talk to the chat too.
Yeah.
Like being able to see it, talk back to him.
And
Matt,
if you're
thanks for the comment.
listening or watching on the replay, we'll always tweet out
appreciate
when
you
we're
guys
going to
too.
do
and
it.
hit the like button. Hit the like
Yeah,
button.
We
hit the
fucking
like
love you
down
guys,
there.
Yeah,
man.
share
Come
it.
on.
But we do appreciate, like, the love matters. We see it, and it like makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So
Definitely.
Shout out JJ,
JJ,
Matt
Logan
Ballsy. Logan DeWolf's a legend.
Ballsy.
Yeah.
Rand K in this bitch.
Rand K knows William Nice from East Hartford, so he's my boy. But yeah, so
Yeah, so that's about it for the card.
Have fun in San
Look
Diego.
out for the parlay.
yeah,
I will
enjoy.
be in San Diego till Tuesday, so we'll see what we'll do about next week's episode.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Stay tuned. Follow Spinnin Backfist. Make sure you like the video.